Prince Morgan Hildebrand, adventurer extraordinaire. And this fetching lass is none other than Gwen Light, the best swordsman in all of Ireland. Oh, of course, Dumas, my most able guide and scholar of the Caribbean.
Where am I?
Surely you've heard of the Magic Island?
Oh, I get it. It's a dream. So, what are you guys supposed to be? Some kind of pirate or something?
Oh, Gwen, I do not believe the lad meant bad by his words. We are buccaneers.
To me, kind of look like a grunge band.
It is true. We banded together in England to flee the tyranny and repression of King George, who also happens to be my uncle.
We sailed the 7 seas in search of adventure.
This is the emergency podcast system. This is not a test. Movies are bombing all over the country. They are posing as movies you already know. They may already be in your theaters, your neighbor's home, or even your own. Do not panic. Specialists have been dispatched. They will help you identify these pretenders and defend you against this invasion of the remake. Please stand by for further instructions. Welcome to the Invasion of the Remake podcast. I am your host, Jason Bishop, and coming in live from Planet Vulcan, Trish Coughlin.
Oh.
Hello. So this week we're doing a fan challenge, Magic Island from 1995. This is a request from Sadie Lucas. Thank you, Sadie. I'm going to read her email because it was like, this is perfect how a movie should be presented to us.
This is a perfect pitch.
Yeah, outside of my petty complaints of capitalization and punctuation. This is actually a pretty good email. Hi, my name is Sadie. I really love your podcast. Thank you. It is so interesting and hilarious. So I have the perfect capitalized. So she's really like, this is perfect.
Oh, okay.
This is the perfect fan challenge to remake and follows all your rules. Magic Island from 1995 is a hilarious but weird roller coaster of a movie. I will give you that. With bubblegum-chewing sand sharks, she had me at that, really. Pizza trees, pirates, princes, mermaids, an enchanted book wielded by a sorcerer named Mad Jack, and much, much more. It's so fun and campy. Please remake it into an episode as soon as you can. I really think you'll enjoy it a lot, like me and my sister did. Love the show. Please do the fan challenge. Thanks. Oh, and you can see it on YouTube. And we did.
We did.
I couldn't find it anywhere else, but yeah, it's VHS rip. This is a Moonbeam kids thing. Moonbeam being a label under Full Moon. So, Charles Band, back again.
I looked at that. I was like, oh, Charles Band. Hello.
Yes. So, yeah, we got another Charles Band here. This one's probably a tricky one to find. It doesn't look like it ever got a release outside of VHS. Some of it was clipped for a Full Moon fantasy feature. Took clips from all sorts of fantasy movies that they did, and you can actually see that on Tubi. I don't remember what it was called, but you'll find it. If you put in Magic Island, it'll come up.
Okay.
But if you want a clip show.
Yeah, no, we just wanted to watch the movie.
Yeah, Sadie thought this was perfect. I started watching this and go, why do my fans hate me so much? I mean, she did. She followed all the rules, but wow, this was not great. It doesn't let plot get in the way of the story, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It's a series of just things.
Yeah, it's this kid who's planned a movie night with his mom, and unfortunately she gets called into work. I'm going to put that in quotations. I wasn't convinced it was work.
Yeah.
And he was going to run away, but the babysitter knew what was going on and gave him this book to pass the time, and it sucked him into this fantasy realm.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of weird vignettes happen after that. He meets these buccaneers, who are being attacked by pirates because they want the treasure. That's basically the plot. I didn't know what any of the motivations were. I didn't know what was going on most of the time, but it was kind of fun.
It was interesting. It was a cast of characters doing things. Like you say, there's no real plot, but it's everybody's doing a character.
Yep.
Except for the lead. He's not doing much. But everybody's doing a character, and the characters just find themselves places and doing things.
Yes. I mean, it's all on land, despite there being buccaneers and pirates. You do see the ship way off in the ocean because it's full moon. We don't have the budget for that.
Yes. We could put a model in, but we can't put a...
I mean, they do puppets pretty well.
Yes.
Well, okay. They're no Jim Henson Creature Shop, but they're basically trying to do Labyrinth, I guess.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I felt at the moment when they get to those three faces that are all saying different things, I felt, oh, we could get somewhere with this. I was starting to enjoy that a little bit because it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Wait, one of them is lying and maybe one of them's only lying a little bit. And, it's like that riddle.
Yeah.
If you've got two guards and one says this is the right door. And if I ask the other guard, like, that's the clue. But then they just disappear.
Yeah, they just kind of disappear. And they're leaving you scratching your head going, what was this about?
It was pointless.
Yeah. Just as pointless as the bubblegum-chewing sand shark. The sand shark chases the kid up the tree and he throws bubblegum onto a pizza, which was growing on the tree.
Yeah.
Then the sand shark's blowing bubbles, and that's how he gets away. And that's all we really get from the sand shark.
Yeah,
and it's a kind of a cheesy puppet.
Yeah, later a turkey tree shows up, which the one guy sees, but then nothing happens with that. It's very odd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to have the sand shark, do something with it.
Yeah, although there is a statue that comes out of this crypt in this wonderful stop motion. It's actually really good. I was surprised at how smooth it was.
Oh, that I kind of enjoyed because it felt, okay, again, something's happening here. We've got a guardian of the treasure and we're going to have an action sequence.
Yeah.
And we don't really.
No.
We try. We try real hard.
There's a lot
but we don't.
Yeah. The actors weren't given a lot of choreography on this.
No.
If they had a dude with a tennis ball, that's probably pretty good for... I doubt they even had that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for that time, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But it's in its infancy with any tennis ball, just trying to tell them where to look.
Infancy.
But they probably didn't even...
They figured that out at King Kong in the 40s.
They sort of did. But I mean, like I'm talking about, I bet you they were thinking, we could CGI this. And then they didn't.
Well, 1995, it would have been probably pretty expensive and looked pretty terrible.
True. Well, I mean, watch Virtuosity again in 1995, and it's really bad. But
fair enough.
People tried. People tried real hard.
Lawnmower Man. Yeah, all that CG is looking pretty rough these days.
Yeah. Well, you start off, this kid is playing a game, I guess, and he's really into pirates. That's pretty much all we know about him.
Mm-hmm. It feels like this world's formed around his imagination, the things he's into.
Yeah.
Toys and video games that he plays, that sort of thing. And I kind of get that, and I feel like that's where our remake can pull from. I also want to pull from what inspired all these type of fantasy kids movie, Wizard of Oz. Like, I feel like every character in the fantasy world should be analogous to a character within his actual world.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think that's the secret to our remake here is everybody should represent somebody he knows, which means we need a little more time setting up his family, the neighborhood, the people around him, so we can get that sequence later. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Yeah. Well, when we first started, I was just kind of looking up the cast list, and it had Mr. Saperstein, who's played by French Stewart, which in my head was not going to be a pirate character. No. I thought that was going to be somebody his mom worked with.
Yeah. And I think that kind of works. Like, okay, if there's somebody the character works with, like, and I feel like if his mom is the one causing the bad feelings because she's breaking another promise, and maybe there's a steady string of this, that in the fantasy world, she should be like an evil queen or something. So he can resolve those emotional issues with his mother.
Yes, or she's kind of, again, that final wizard boss.
Yeah, final boss.
At the end, because I kind of like the idea where Blackbeard becomes part of the treasure. I kind of want to keep that because that feels like a be careful what you wish for deal.
Yeah.
Like she should be that.
Yeah, his motivations are just pure greed. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I want the character of Blackbeard to be a little closer to the real Blackbeard. So he comes off scary and gruff and even has the smoke coming out of his beard. I would like that.
Oh, yes. Well, Andrew Divoff, it's very wild to watch him in this role because he's going for it. He's doing what he can with it.
Oh, yeah. You could tell he's having a lot of fun.
He really is. I know this is bad, but you know what? I'm going to make my character the best thing I can, and I'm going to chew on all the scenery I can.
He sure does, just with the way he delivers the line with that pirate voice, and just the way he kind of talks and juts his face when he does. Like,
yes.
There's just something about him like, well, you are definitely having fun here, and you are chewing it all up, and you are definitely the best actor in this entire movie.
Absolutely. Completely.
Yeah, he's just acting circles around everybody else.
Completely. The only one close is kind of French Stewart because he's really going with the dandy character, and that's as close as you get. Everybody else, the prince, I don't know what was going on there.
I still don't understand his story. Like, he's a prince,
either.
but he's a buccaneer. Okay, I think we need some background of maybe he's trying to fund his kingdom or something. Like, this is why he's out questing, is because he's trying to help his kingdom.
Or he's
What's
the
he a prince
second in
of?
line.
Or is this a nickname?
Or he's the spare. He just has a title, but he has no money. I mean, his brother runs the kingdom.
Yeah.
You have Gwyn with an Irish accent. I use the term loosely. It went to Jamaican at one point, and I'm like,
It was all over the place.
Yeah. Like, I would have made her basically another pirate, like Anne Bonny. A very famous redheaded Irish pirate.
I like that. That's actually good. I wish I would have thought of that. Initially, I thought they were kind of doing something like that. Like pirate versus pirate. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, like I thought they were going to put a bunch of pirates in here. Because, I mean, he loves pirates. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, well, we can. I like that.
Yeah, we can.
I didn't cast towards that, but I like that.
Nice.
All right. Well, I'm going to run the trailer here for Magic Island from 1995. We'll be right back with the cast and talk more Magic Island.
You want adventure, excitement. This is all your dreams come true.
Stories are for kids. I'm 13.
Jack Kavanaugh thinks books aren't cool. But one book will make him think again.
Where am I?
Surely you've heard of the Magic Island?
Now a boy from the present
What land do you hail from? They call me Jack. Mad Jack. From the shaky lands of Los Angeles.
has teamed with those from the past.
Not bad for a wench.
We are buccaneers.
Catch!
To battle the most famous pirate in history.
Blackbeard lives, and he's on our trail.
Why is he on our trail?
Because I have the treasure map.
They're searching for the world's greatest treasure.
Who goes there?
Every clue brings them nearer to untold riches.
Who dares to enter my tomb?
Every step takes them closer to unimaginable dangers.
The closer we near the treasure, the stronger this isle's magic will be.
Jack, whose hand am I holding?
Hold on tight.
Do we fight or flee?
We fight. God bless you, Mad Jack.
As Moonbeam Entertainment takes you on the adventure of a lifetime.
Just relax, sit back, and enjoy the show.
Zachary Ty Bryan of television's Home Improvement stars in Magic Island.
That was the trailer for Magic Island from 1995, directed by Sam Irvin, who directed Oblivion's 1 and 2, 2 being called Backlash. They were also Full Moon movies, which were written by comic book writer Peter David. So actually, the plot-wise, those movies are actually pretty fun. They're space westerns that predate Firefly.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I was confused because when you hit Oblivion, I thought you could only have it once.
Right? No, apparently you can have it more than once. He also directed Elvira's Haunted Hills.
Ooh, okay, yeah. It's dumb, but I still kind of enjoy it only because Elvira just kind of, I'm just watching her do shit.
Yeah, and I think we covered that on 31 Days of Horror fairly recently.
We did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a screenplay by Neil Ruttenberg and Brent V. Friedman. Neil Ruttenberg wrote more Full Moon stuff like Pre-Hysteria 3, another Full Moon kids movie. Yeah, there are 3 Pre-Hysterias. If you haven't seen those, they're mini dinosaurs because Full Moon likes to shrink things down. I don't know why.
You know what? But that sounds, honestly, as an idea, that sounds super fun. Like as a child, can you imagine? Here, have a mini dinosaur.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sure.
Yeah. He also wrote Deathstalker 2, which would have been for Roger Corman's camp.
Oh, wow.
Brent Friedman wrote the Dark Skies television series. He was actually the creator of that show. And he also wrote Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Is that the most recent one?
Oh, no. That was a 90s one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get confused. Mortal Kombat just sounds, they all seem the same to me.
Fair. It's fair. They're all pretty terrible. Zachary Ty Bryan is Jack Carlisle, and this is the kid from Home Improvement, the blonde one, the one that nobody liked.
Yeah, the oldest one that just kind of got forgotten.
Yeah, as he gotten older, his acting never got better. That's probably why he's kind of disappeared. I remember his short stint in Fast and Furious 3, and I'm like, oh, please get off my screen. You're terrible. So he was in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and of course, most well-known for being one of the sons on Home Improvement. Yeah. Andrew Divoff is Blackbeard. He's been in lots of stuff, Wishmaster, Air Force One, and we talked about him in episode 260, Neon Maniacs.
I know this. That's it. Yes. I knew it's something with makeup.
Yeah, he gets under makeup a lot, and he loves doing his voices. We talked about him. Yeah. Actually, we talked about him a little bit, but we actually ran a panel a couple of years ago from Calgary Horror Con that he was at. It's a really great panel. You should go listen to that episode.
It's wonderful, and he's the most wonderful man.
Yeah, he's one of those actors who's just a genuinely cool human being.
Yes.
Edward
speaks so many languages. I wanted to learn from him.
That's right. And makes his own beer. Edward Kerr is Prince Morgan, and he's mainly a TV actor. He's been on Pretty Little Liars, and he was in seasons 2 and 3 of Sequest DSV.
Oh, that's where I knew him from.
Yeah. Lee Armstrong was Gwen. She didn't do much, but Leprechaun 3.
Good God.
That was her.
Why does she keep getting put in these roles with Irish things and not having it work? No, keep her away from him.
Fair enough. French Stewart was Mr. Saperstein, best known for Stargate and Third Rock from the Sun. Jessie Ann Friend is Lily. She's a mermaid in this, and she was in a movie called Frankie Starlight. I just like the title. She didn't do much either. Oh. Child star. Oscar Dillon was Dumas, just this big, muscular black guy in this movie. He was also in Batman Forever.
Ooh.
Yeah. Abraham Ben-Ruby is Duckbone, and he was in Twister, Big Hero 6, and a movie I covered a few years ago on 31 Days of Horror called Bliss that I really loved.
Nice. I remember him from a few things. I think he also was on ER, and that's when I first knew him. He was just this giant, huge guy on ER.
He's that giant guy you saw in that thing that one time.
He really is.
Yeah. Sean O'Kane is Jolly Bob. He was in Tall Tale and The Saint.
Ooh.
Shay Harrison is Mrs. Carlisle. That would be Jack's mom here. And she was in Savages. Janet Dubois is Lucretia. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Jeanette, maybe? Jeanette Dubois. Yeah. I think it's Jeanette. She was in Basic Instinct and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. And I thought she was quite actually good in her few small parts in this.
Oh, and she's, again, one of those people you saw in that thing that one time.
Yeah. And her character, like, I would make her, like, if we have an evil sorceress or something like that as the final boss, she should be the good one. Like, she's the guiding hand. She's the one that gave him the book, right? The secret book that apparently her family wrote and passes down.
Exactly.
In a way, she's like that creepy bearded dude in Hellraiser who's always handing people the puzzle box.
He kind of is, but I think she's sort of the person too, where she's doing it to show the person she's giving it to how to be grateful for certain things and to like help them build their own character.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think she can kind of be the narrator, but also, yeah, she should be the good force. But I like to think that it wasn't made by her family. It's still her. She just keeps changing her identity every few years.
Oh, that'd be cool. This immortal passing this book around to teach lessons. Terry Sweeney is the voice of Funny Face. These are the faces that we see that are puppeteered, and you were mentioning that would be the puzzle gatekeeper type of thing, and then nothing really happened with it. They just did a bunch of stuff that my audio on mine wasn't that great, so I didn't really understand most of what they were saying. But he was mainly a writer for like Mad TV and Saturday Night Live.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Martine Beswick is the lady face, and this is interesting because she's this beautiful woman that was in 2 James Bond movies, From Russia with Love and Thunderball, which we covered in episode 34. We also covered her and talked about her in episode 171, 1 Million Years BC.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a shame you had somebody that's like as attractive as Martine Beswick and she's not on screen.
Well, maybe that's the whole thing. She's kind of like, I want my talent to be viewed without you looking at how I look.
Wow, she would have probably been in her 50s or 60s by this point. So
true,
yeah.
But she still probably would have been a knockout. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Mad Face was Isaac Hayes. Yeah.
I totally missed that in the casting. I didn't even notice.
And we talked about Isaac Hayes in episode 117, Reindeer Games.
Oh, I forgot about that. I can't remember he was in that. Holy crap.
Yeah. And Sam Irvin, the director, he plays a small part in here as Carbassus. He was also an extra in episode 405 when we talked about the Fury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We definitely didn't mention him, but because he was an extra, but...
Well, yeah. We only go so deep with casting. Let's be real here.
Yeah, I guess I went pretty deep. I mean, that's pretty much everybody in this whole movie, so.
You really did.
Yeah. The Full Moon doesn't do these whole big casts with a lot of background players and that sort of thing. It's like, here's your guys. Make a movie.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, they're on a magic island. You don't need extras, really.
No.
It's a perfect way to kind of make a movie where you limit the people you're paying. It's a good idea.
Yeah. And I like the idea of like a kid's fantasy flick and having the silly stuff going on or fun stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things that just happen out of convenience because he had pre-packed this bag to run away with, but with the most useless shit, like his Game Boy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Some speakers. So when he used the speakers in his microphone, like, what did he plug it into?
Right?
Like, do the trees have sockets? I don't know what's happening right now.
I mean, unless it had batteries, and there aren't like battery packs now, you could basically make it happen now, but no.
Yeah, so kind of everything that he packed came in handy.
But not really.
But not really. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he had a lighter, started a fire with that, and then after that... I feel like Dumas may have become a pyromaniac. I'm not sure.
I like the idea of Dumas becoming a pyromaniac.
Because he really liked that lighter. He didn't give it back.
To be fair, he did say he could keep it.
That's true. But, you see stuff like that, you figure, oh, that's going to come into play at some point. Like, Dumas will use it to set something on fire that helps everybody or distracts or whatever. Yeah. And that's just lazy writing for the most part, where it's just like, here's a bunch of things that happen, and this kid has stuff that can counter that. Yeah.
Well, for Pete's sake, you have that opening where he falls down and Gwyn throws, I guess, a smoke bomb, but she has to start it with flint.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come back with the lighter?
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't we do that? Now that we set that up, like, why haven't we used that later for something like that?
Right?
Well, this is much easier.
Yes.
Yo, bad guys, just wait. Wait. No, I got it. No. Wait.
Oh.
Trust me, this is going to be good.
Right? Exactly.
They're like, oh, smoke bomb.
Yeah, they're like,
we
okay,
didn't see that coming.
Are you sure? It's like, do you need help? Like a couple times it seems the pirates would be like, can we help? Let's just get this going.
Right?
It would almost be funny that it's part of a constrained portion of the story where they can't go anywhere because the story has to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason they're waiting.
Well, and I kind of feel like maybe that was part of it because the pages were just a little bit ahead of what they were doing. So they would just kind of read what was coming next.
Exactly.
And then the rest would be blank. So it'd give him a little bit of a hint what was going on. I guess that would give him a chance to prepare. So it's like, well, are you writing the book or is the book writing you?
I have an idea that I don't know why. It brings me back to like when I was a youngster. Remember Choose Your Own Adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if the book did that. Do you want to A, go into the cave, B, stay outside?
I like that idea.
And then you get the outcome? So he doesn't really have an asset in the book, but it does give him options?
I like that. I kind of dig that. Oh, that would bring a new wrinkle to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there going like, oh, you made a bad choice. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, and imagine the tie-in stuff you could sell.
Right?
You've now got a Choose Your Own Adventure tie-in book you could sell with the movie.
Absolutely.
Merchandise.
We're thinking ahead, guys.
That's right.
Thinking ahead. Oh, I miss those books, but I always ended up dead in a cave, even though I liked them.
Yeah, I generally made the right decisions most of the way through. I had some Marvel ones that were like that, but they were a little more chance. So you would kind of flip the top corners. It would be like rolling a dice. So,
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't quite your Choose Your Own Adventure. And you would sometimes get into some bad situations and die.
Yeah, mine were it be you go here and then I'm like, ooh, I'll go there. And then you go to the page like, yeah, well, the door is locked. You're in the cave. You die of starvation. Bye. And they were dark books.
Well, I don't think a kid's movie doesn't have to be super light either. Like kids can have these dark fantasies as well. I would say Labyrinth had a lot of darkness to it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's kind of the level I kind of want to be at, where it's a little freaky, but fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And
actual jeopardy.
Yeah. And obviously what we need here is some character development, some arc. I mean, your fantasy characters don't really need to have that, but Jack dies. Yeah. He needs to resolve his issues with his mom. That's the basic principle in this. And I don't feel this story did that. She just comes home and his pants have been ripped off. And now they're jorts.
And she's just magically, you can't believe I said that you're the best project I ever worked on. I'm like, what? Who? What?
I thought she was going out on a date or something. Like, I'm going to work. I'm like, you sleeping with your boss? That's how my brain was going.
It did look like that. That was the dress she was wearing.
Yeah.
But it seemed, I don't know, it was like a big deal, but then she gave up this chance and it seems, I don't know. It seemed really ridiculous because A, she went out to, try to make a change. Mm-hmm. For helping her son, basically torpedoed her career, which is a dumb idea. I mean, it should have been, I could have done this. I didn't torpedo my career, but I've decided I need to spend more time with you at the expense of maybe losing this big job. Yeah, that arc, I don't even know what that was.
And I'm kind of wondering how we use the fantasy world to kind of affect the real world. Like we need to have Jack, this evil queen or sorceress, whoever that's portrayed by the actress playing his mother, kind of changes her being, right? Like
Yeah.
makes her see the lights and the value. And trying to kill kids and mermaids and buccaneers is maybe not the best hobby.
Exactly. And keeping your treasure doesn't do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that could be it. Like the arc is, she is protecting her treasure at all costs, trying to push all these people away.
Yeah, she's the one that makes
that's the most important thing.
Yeah, she's making the one with the big statue coming alive and tossing all this jeopardy at these people so they don't come after her treasure.
Yeah, and she's just lonely.
Yeah, these material things are all that she values.
But at the end of the day, she's just lonely. She's just alone there with her treasures. And what does that even do?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We got there.
Yeah, and I think that works in the real world as well.
Exactly.
With the job, whatever, or maybe doing some unsavory things to get this job that she's not willing to do. And she stands her ground and goes, no, something else will happen. Something better.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think we got something. Now, with like the other characters, you kind of need to introduce them along the way. Mm-hmm. Like I was thinking maybe Dumas was either Lucretia's husband or a neighbor. Well, you want to keep everybody fairly close. I was actually thinking like Lily would be the neighbor kid he has a crush on.
Yes.
Across the street or whatever.
Well, it's weird. I aged her up a bit just for stunt casting. And I kind of thought he would have a crush on her, but she's the older kid who sometimes babysits him when the nanny isn't available type of deal.
Well, I mean, that could too. I mean, I kept it the age group similar to this film.
Yeah,
so.
I tried, but then I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I wasn't cool with like a child having seashells over her boobs.
Like, I know.
Did we really need that? And then where did the grass skirt come from when she grew her legs? Like, where did the clothes suddenly come from? And the flip flops.
Exactly.
Like, this kid's real magic.
I know. At a certain point, though, I was laughing to myself. What would have been funny when she's like, "Oh, are you a sorcerer?"
What manner of sorcerer be you anyway? A sorcerer? Me?
Then if a sorcerer you're not, then a demon you must be.
He does not look the part of a demon.
But if a demon he be, we must cut off his head at once. Okay, I'm a sorcerer. I just don't like to brag about it all the time.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm a sorcerer." She goes, "Yeah, I don't believe in sorcerers. Aren't real. Mermaids are, but sorcerers aren't."
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I was thinking, like, actually, that could be good. Like, maybe Mr. Saperstein is neighbor, the father of Lily in the neighborhood. Maybe Jolly Bob is an Amazon driver or something.
Yeah.
Does a lot of postmen, maybe.
But Blackbeard would be the guy who works with his mom.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the partner who's probably driving her to be, we got to get this. This is what's happening. He's sort of pressuring her to spend all her time away from her son.
Yeah, we need to see those kind of scenes within the film as well. Prince Morgan.
Prince Morgan.
Maybe somebody comes off with a different offer, a counter offer, and hires away from the evil Blackbeard version.
Yes. Hey, there you go.
Right?
The only way I couldn't do it is I was thinking it could have been his idealized version of his father who isn't there, but you'd have to introduce the father. Mm-hmm. And no, I think your way is better, where it's the better. He actually exists in the world.
Yeah. Although you may have touched on something, because I like the idea of unresolved grief with maybe
spending time with his dad.
Yeah. Or a father that doesn't exist anymore. And maybe that could be like he wants to be with these buccaneers because that is his dad.
Yeah. His dad was an adventurer who went different places, but he was kind of just a salesman who took off.
Yeah. Took off, never came back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, there's some ideas there too. I'm not sure which way to go with that. What else do we got?
I don't know either. They're both really good.
Yeah. As far as like voices go, if we have like the talking wall stuff, which feels a little too Labyrinth ripoffy anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But any of those extraneous voices could be maybe from the cartoons and video games he's got kicking around.
Yeah. Well, considering Lily talks to the trees, why on earth is these stone things? Why isn't it simply just a face in a tree?
Yeah, make it make sense to the abilities of the characters.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I would like her as a mermaid to have some control over water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh, she drowns the sand shark because it can only exist in sand.
There you go. I mean, the bubblegum just holds it off for a second, but that doesn't stop it. I would think,
oh, no.
Oh, you know what would happen? Like, it would come up, blow the bubbles, and get frustrated, and then the kids comes down to the tree, and then three more fins come up.
Ooh,
or more.
I like that.
3 or more come up through the sand. Yeah, and then and then we could have Lily come to the rescue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
We're starting to make some of this work. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's more active in the story rather than just wandering around excited to have legs.
Yeah, it just felt like, well, now here's a mermaid character. Here's another kid character, which is fine. You want kid characters so kids can relate to the leads. But she didn't do anything.
Yeah. Her entire purpose was to possibly kind of point the Buccaneers to where Blackbeard had kidnapped them and to just fawn over Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, in his fantasy, he would think of, but maybe part of the learning from this is that's not what your relationships are for.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's like, just because you have a crush doesn't mean they're going to return that.
Exactly. Because the book is teaching him. Yes.
The book,
key point of it.
Yeah, the book is there to teach him lessons. And that was something that I felt like the book was supposed to do, just didn't get there.
It did not.
Okay. Well, all right. I think we got most of the characters covered then.
We do.
Man, that happened fast.
Exactly.
I had this kind of thought about a couple nights ago already where I'm like, I want to do the Wizard of Oz thing and have every character kind of exist within the fantasy world.
Absolutely. And I love that. I was struggling with that.
It was such an easy thing. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, and just talking through it, we're kind of making all of that kind of make sense now with every character. And I think it's important to have an arc for a character. They have to learn something. And that was, Labyrinth did that. Like, the best movies of these type do that. And I think that just kind of got lost in the writing. They were just like, well, let's do a Labyrinth clone. On a beach.
And we're just going to throw puppets at it.
Yeah.
We're going to throw puppets at it until it feels like Labyrinth. And that's not what you can do. You need a story that kind of makes an arc happen, and the characters need to be there to serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's going to be heart to it. There's got to be an emotional core to it, or you're just. I checked out so much when I couldn't care.
Yeah, it was hard for me to stay focused on this one.
Yeah,
I'm glad Sadie likes this movie. I did not.
But it's one of those movies I can see.
Right. She was right. This was kind of the perfect thing to throw at me. Like,
oh, the challenge of it, Sadie. Yeah. Awesome. This is a challenge, and we like a challenge. We don't like an undoable challenge like an Academy Award winner, but this is a challenge where you could really flesh it out.
Yeah, and you could make a really great movie out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bad news, Miss Lily.
Tonga reports that it seems we're being watched at this very moment from a tree high above by humans whom it saw great harm. Although I cannot imagine why.
Treasure oft times brings out the worst in men. Quite a shame, too, for it does spoil the very spirit of adventure.
Fight or flee, Morgan?
Well, if we flee, they'll be nipping at our heels like hellhounds. But if we fight, we put all our lives in jeopardy. What say your magic book, Mad Jack? Do we fight or flee?
From high in a tree, Mr. Saperstein tries to locate the whereabouts of the Buccaneers.
Well, there's 3 pages left. But it's weird, I mean, it seems like this book is being written as things are happening. Because when I read it last time, this was the last page. And then I turned the page, and there's more.
Well, Mad Jack, what is your word?
Blackbeard's world was turned upside down.
We fight.
Okay, well, every new movie needs a new cast, so let's recast this thing. Who do you have in mind?
Okay, so here's where I did one thing. I was searching, and I'm like, I don't want to be on a list. So for Jack Carlisle, I put actor who can play a teen, a young teen. Gwyn, I went with Ivana Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood in Harry Potter.
Okay.
Actual Irish actress. Prince Morgan, Daniel Kaluuya. He's British. I just think he would be fun in this role. He's got a little more gravitas because they didn't do anything. And that's before we kind of made these changes, but we can still do them.
Mm-hmm.
Blackbeard, just for shits and giggles. Robert Sheehan.
Oh, nice.
I want him to play it very broad. I want Blackbeard to maybe be a bit of a dandy. Just have fun with it.
I like that. Yeah.
Nice. And like I say, I did stunt casting for the mermaid. Lily is Halle Bailey, who was in the Little Mermaid remake.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Saperstein, Alan Tudyk.
Oh, that's good. Yep.
I feel that would be good. And Dumas is Omar Sy, who is the lead in Lupin, the French jewel thief
on
one.
Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah. Duckbone, Joe Manganiello.
Oh, yeah.
Because he likes to do comedy. He has fun when he gets to do comedy, and he enjoys it.
Right.
Jolly Bob, David Tennant.
Oh.
Just because I thought he can be evil, but you're also kind of charmed by him. I like that.
I feel like that's kind of the balance I was looking for with that character, too.
Exactly. And for Lucretia, I went kind of way off piste. Peppa from Salt and Peppa. She's
Yep, that's definitely as far left as I could go. I wouldn't have never occurred to me.
I was like, she's about the right age. I mean, she was born in kind of Jamaica and the islands. I'm like, you know what? Let's do that. She's about 57. She's at nanny age. She'd be great. And my director was Anna Boden.
Okay. Yeah.
Who co-directed Captain Marvel, just for fun.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, no particular order here. I got Amy Donald as Lily. She played Megan in Megan.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's really good.
Yeah. Liam Neeson, I did as Blackbeard.
Oh, there you go.
Austin Butler, I did as Prince Morgan. You may not know the name. He was in Elvis, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and most recently one of the leads in Masters of Air on Apple TV.
Wildly, I thought of him. He came across when I was looking, and I thought of him.
Yeah, I needed somebody with suaveness, right? And a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
exactly.
Thought, like, yeah, this guy's got some Tom Cruise vibes.
Yep.
For Gwen, I thought Sydney Sweeney.
Thought about her too.
For Night Teeth and, doesn't seem like Madam Web hurt her career at all. Shockingly.
No. Well, she had a strong vibe going in. I mean, some of the people in Madam Web, this didn't help.
Right.
Sorry, Dakota Johnston. Sorry. Stuff has happened. I wish we could get you in Suspiria and help that going along, but 50 Shades didn't help you.
No. For Jack Carlisle, I went with Joshua Pickering. He was one of the kids in Peter Pan and Wendy, but not Peter Pan or Wendy.
Oh, nice.
He was one of the Darling kids.
I love that name, Darling.
That's right.
I went with the Darling kids.
Yeah, that wasn't a metaphor. That's just what their name. Go read a book.
I do have a friend named Scott Darling, which is fun.
That's great.
Can say hello, darling.
For Mr. Saperstein, I thought Jay Baruchel.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
I thought you might like that one. Dumas, Terry Crews.
Thought about him too. That's why I kind of went a different way, because I keep putting him in these roles.
Yeah, I haven't used him in a while, but I thought, kid friendly and still has that presence, right? For Duckbone, I went with Pablo Schreiber.
Love it.
Yeah, he was Pornstache in Orange is the New Black, but he's really beefed up since then. Big, tall dude with the big muscles. He's Master Chief in Halo now.
Yeah, but he was also the
American
very
Gods.
giant leprechaun. Yeah.
Yeah, American Gods.
That's what I know him from. He's huge.
Yeah, big dude. For Lucretia, I went with Octavia Spencer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's just wish list at that point.
I know.
Oscar winner Octavia Spencer in a Full Moon remake.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is why we do this. We can cast whoever we want. Right? We don't have a budget.
No budget.
We love it.
Yeah. For Mrs. Carlisle, Heather Graham.
Oh, I didn't cast her, and I'm with you on this. She's perfect.
Yeah, she's at that age now. She could do some mom roles, but still very attractive. So, I mean, just like the actress that was in this movie. And if we're kind of going with the way we're going, that gives her some meat to play with here. Like, she can use her acting chops and
she's
play
talented.
some drama.
She's underrated.
Yeah, and for Jolly Bob, again, wish listing, Andrew Garfield.
Love it.
And I want the Andrew Garfield to use his natural accent too.
Yes.
Yeah. which is wonderful. And I think it would be wonderful for a fantasy film.
Oh, perfect. He needs to start using it more often.
Yeah. Now, my director's going to surprise you because I normally knock on him.
Oh.
But he proved he could do a movie like this when he did House with a Clock in Its Walls, Eli Roth. And believe it or not, I really liked Thanksgiving.
You know what? I can see that.
So I wanted to have a little bit of a darker edge, and he'll definitely do that. But,
as producers, we might have to rein him in.
Yeah.
Be like,
well, you know
okay,
what?
with the choose your own adventure, we're not going to have sawed in half.
I mean, I think he's starting to learn how to do that. Like with like Thanksgiving, there are some things like, oh boy, like I remember hearing a podcast with him where he went way too far and he actually cut things because it would turn the audience off after a while, which is one of my big complaints about Terrifier 2. It got so disgusting, it just stopped being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving
you have to give
managed
the audience room to breathe.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving managed to do that. So I think he's learning. But then I watched the Borderlands trailer and I go, well, maybe it was a fluke.
Yeah.
So who knows?
You probably need somebody on set being, okay, look, we know you want to do this. And you know what? It sounds great. But here's the idea. All these little ideas, maybe spread them out over a few movies. They don't have to all be in the same one.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, you will have a long career. So you don't need to do them all at once.
Yeah.
Savor them, Eli. Just savor them individually.
Well, I feel like with this movie, we did the one thing that the full moon movie requires you to not ask questions.
Oh my God.
In our movie,
nothing but questions.
We want to answer questions.
All of the questions.
Yes.
I thought a lot of it really stretched my credibility, but I swear to God, the pizza tree, it was early on, but that could have been the moment where I'm broken. Yeah. I don't know what to do now.
I kept wondering why Blackbeard fell unconscious so many times. It's like Andrew Divoff's going, I'm done with this scene.
Yeah. This is the take you get, and that's all.
I mean, it takes a stiff breeze to like knock somebody out in this movie.
But to be fair, there is a moment where he gets knocked unconscious by a coconut. And this brought me back to something. When I was in Fiji, there were signs to stay on the path because coconuts do actually kill people.
Oh, yeah. That would hurt like hell if it fell on your head. It
did. But yeah, it'll break your skull. So, I mean, I kept thinking Blackbeard should be dead after that size of coconut.
Well, maybe that's why he had some sort of hematoma. And after many brain trauma, it didn't take much to knock him unconscious.
There you go. Oh, there you are. That's the story.
There's the story. It's actually the one thing when they were before with the statue and the secret entrance, I loved how they lifted up the toenail as the way to get in, as the secret lever. I'm like, oh, that's kind of clever. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, it was clever, but also gross. So I'm like, kids would love this.
Yeah.
But that was great.
And by the way,
that was happening.
I would think Jack at his age would know how to swim. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as the mermaid says, I don't know anybody who doesn't know how to swim.
Well, she wouldn't, would she?
Alternatively, it could be part of it. His mom is so busy. He's just done video games. He hasn't learned to swim.
Yeah, he hasn't
done
any
lessons. Sports.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how, you know what? He probably doesn't even know how to ride a bike. He's just never had these moments because nobody is teaching him. They're just leaving him alone with his video games.
Yeah, the social skills. And I think that's where Lucretia kind of comes in and tries to wake him up to world outside of his video games and books.
Exactly. And his own imagination.
Yeah. IMDb gives this a 5.8 out of 10.
What?
Yeah. You think that's pretty high?
Well, I mean, again, no plot. It's just a series of things that happen.
I was a little baffled myself. Rotten Tomatoes does not have enough critics for a critic score, but there is an audience score. So you do get to, yeah, you do get to guess one of these. So what do you think the audience score was?
Well, our challenger really loved it. But you know, this could be one of those movies, if you see it at the right time in your life, it will hit you and it will be beloved.
Yeah, I would have been in my 20s when this came out.
Oh yeah, me too. Too old.
Yeah.
Too old. 61.
73%.
I was going to go 71, but then, man.
73%. I couldn't believe it. Like,
I can't.
Did you people see? Did you actually watch this?
You know, but it's the type of movie where a kid can put it on, walk away, and come back, and they haven't missed anything.
That's true.
I mean, it's
and I
perfect
mean, come on. I was riveted by the giant statue. Like the stop motion on that was just gorgeous. It's the one thing I'm like, wow. Obviously, Charles Band did not scrimp on that part because he must be a fan of that look as well.
You know, and some directors who do that, there's a reverence for it when you want something to feel like that. And you'll put the time in and the effort because there's something magical about that, even when you grow up.
And that was definitely his big centerpiece for the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as funny as a bubblegum-chewing sand shark, it didn't look much better than a hand puppet, and neither did the talking wall stuff.
Exactly.
The faces.
Yeah.
But the stop motion was something special.
Yes. It was done so well. And it made sense in the context. You have to have the final thing that has to keep people from the entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, we'll have our character once they're in and has a final confrontation with the dark sorceress, which is his mother. Shows her there's more than just possessions and things like that. And that translates to the real world. And we have a happy ending with his mom.
Yeah. She comes home and she's going, we're making some changes and it's going to be good and I'll be around more.
Yeah. I like that. I think we've still kept to the heart of the story, but we actually gave it a story. We gave it a plot.
Yes. We gave it a line, an actual line through the whole thing other than, I mean, the treasure thing was sort of there, but you can't just drop it on a whim. You can't.
No, there's just not enough driving it. I just didn't understand outside of wanting the treasure what the motivations were, and there weren't any. It was just, me want treasure. Blackbeard will have treasure.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you know what? Even with such a thin character, Andrew Divoff was just such a delight to watch.
Yeah, he definitely is the shining moment of this film, and it's almost worth watching just to watch him ham it up.
Absolutely. He makes a good Blackbeard. He really does.
Yeah, he really does. I think we chose some pretty good Blackbeards, too.
We did as well. Although we could he needs to be in this movie in some instance. Maybe he could be the narrator.
Oh, that'd be cool. Just to have Andrew do something as a callback to the original.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he could be the voice of the book.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What do you wish to do next? We wish to a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. He's the book.
Oh, yeah. He's the book. A sentient book.
Sentient book. I like it. And if you liked it, give us a 5-star rating and a short review over an Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you share out the show.
Yes.
If you want to get your own fan challenge in like Sadie did, follow those rules. You can send us an email, invasionoftheremake@gmail.com, and the movie needs to be at least 20 years old. It needs to have room for improvement. Come on. I mean, Trish has already said so. Like, Oscar winner, ain't gonna cut it. One's, we're not gonna make that better.
Although there's the odd one I've noticed where I'm like, I could do that better.
Well,
I don't. There's some Oscar winners where I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, go back to our Departed episode, and we actually like the original source material better.
We did absolutely.
So it does happen. And tell us where to source it. It certainly helps us out, and it'll definitely raise your chances of us doing the episode if we can find it. And if you listen to the show regularly, you know I like a weird hook.
It's bubblegum sand sharks.
It's not a requirement, but I like something weird about a movie. Like, we've done a lot of islands now for fan challenges.
I know. I was thinking about that.
Unknown Island, which everybody seems to know about.
Yeah, Tanya's Island.
Tanya's Island, which we had to go to a porn site to watch.
I know.
But had a wonderful gorilla.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Have we tapped out the islands? I don't think so.
No. There's always more islands.
There's always more islands.
Yeah.
But if you look back at all those past fan challenges, usually the ones I pick are the ones with some weird hook. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like having some fun with it. Like, what do you mean there's a sorcerer or a witch or
Or a leprechaun or a tiny weird animal or, honestly, you talked about the ones prehistoric where it's Miz or dinosaurs. Honestly, I kind of want to do that.
Prehysteria?
I would remake the heck out of that. It sounds so much fun.
I remember really liking those when I was younger. I thought those were fun movies.
Yeah. I can see why. They sound great.
Yeah. And I do believe they used a lot of stop motion. So I think that's probably why I liked them.
Oh, there you go.
Always a fan of that. If you're a fan, of course, follow us on our social media at Invasion Remake on Twitter, Invasion of the Remake on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Do yourself a favor, look at our back catalog if you're just discovering us. We've got well over 400 episodes. You can actually find a full list of those on our website, invasionoftheremake.wixsite.com/podcast. You'll find the whole archives over there. Links to podcatchers if you need to find one to listen to. We got our full lists of our reviews on 31 Days of Horror and a button that'll take you to our TeePublic Store. We have well over 100 designs that you can make into t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, notebooks, stickers, magnets, even pillows.
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of cool stuff over there, so go check it out. And every time you make a purchase off of our store, it helps keep us free for you every single week. And you get something cool out of it, too.
Oh, yeah. And, summer's coming. Get some t-shirts.
Get some t-shirts. Yeah, they're very comfortable t-shirts.
Yes. Wearing one now.
Me too. All right. Well, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We've got another comparison coming up. Until then, I've been Jason.
And I continue to be Trish.
And we are out of here.
Welcome to my treasure, Blackbeard.
Just take your time.
Man, I think I've had enough adventure for one day.
What say your magic book, Mad Jack?
Well,
Done in by his own greed, Blackbeard became part of the very treasure he sought.
so far so good. I just gotta go to the end.
After saving Lily from certain death, Mad Jack bids farewell to his mermaid friend.
Are you ready to go home, Lily?
I hope it's not much further, Jack. I am getting a bit dry around the edges.
Don't worry, mermaid. We'll get you home.